The following program does not necessarily reflect the views of PMLB Media or its sponsors.
Hello, welcome to the program. I am your host, Fat Man.
And I'm Little Boy.
And this is our weekly Netcast podcast for the, gosh, what are we now? We're in the third week of February?
Third week, yeah. Hasn't really been weekly. It's been more like every other week.
Yeah, well, we want to make it weekly, but, you know, with things that have been busy, I hope you guys are checking out our other shows. We have PFP Sports. We have PFPSports.com. WowMomCooking.com, and a new one, which is BT on PMLB.com. And, of course, Little Boy has his new show, which is a great show, and I'm the producer of that show, so I'm there behind the camera.
Yes.
It's
a round table discussion. It's on sports. You know, I like to talk sports as well, and we don't get into sports very often here unless we're complaining about halftime shows or something.
Actually, we're going to get into sports a little bit today, though.
Okay.
Because first let's start off with, Little Boy, how was your week?
It's been pretty good. Still training. I actually officially have signed up for that half marathon that I talked about. It's June 3rd. I was hoping that, I know we talked about it in the past, hopefully maybe you can come and maybe film me not dying when I cross the finish line.
I will definitely be there, and there will be a camera there for sure.
So I've been training throughout the week, and then Saturday is when I do my long run. And I had actually gotten up to, half marathon's 13.1 miles. I'd gotten up to 12 miles on the treadmill, but you saw what that had done to me. It pretty much destroyed me. So I backed it off, and now I'm running up at a lake around here, and I got up to 8 miles now. I ran 8 miles on Saturday, and the next Saturday it's 9, and I'm just increasing it till I get to. I actually want to get up to 15. I figure if I can run 15 at the lake, I can run 13 at the marathon.
Wow.
So and it felt good.
Miles.
Felt pretty.
I don't like
felt
to
pretty
drive
good.
13 miles.
So also stepped on the scale, and I have lost almost 90 pounds in 3 years.
That is, I found them. That is unbelievable, and congratulations on that, Little Boy.
Thank you. It actually feels really good. I broke 179 pounds now from 268. And it's a testament to how hard I've worked. It's taken 3 years, but it's also a testament to how lazy I was before, getting myself that heavy. But it's been a lot of hard work. But I was real proud to break 180 was really, really nice. Really
you
good
look
feeling.
a lot different.
Yeah. If you I don't know, maybe sometime we can put up an old picture of me up on the screen back there.
We should.
Because
you won't believe it. That's why I called him my little round friend.
Yeah.
Now I can't call. Well, I'm still going to call you my little friend.
I still got a ways to go. I still got I still got some weight in there that I can lose, but I do feel a lot better about myself.
Last week's show was our highest rated ever, and all we did was fight.
Those usually seem to be the most popular ones.
Yeah, but I don't like just fighting all the time. It's the craziest thing. But it was our highest rated ever. It was the highest hit on the website. We had 5,700 views on our website.
That's great.
And I think even YouTube had 300 or 400 views. And that's a lot for our show, because even if you look at any of the big contributors, Fox News or whatever, they have their shows that are on there. They only get like 500 views because they lose relevancy so quickly.
Right.
That they're not good. So I think we did pretty good. Ours lost relevancy, although
that was actually a good example of what our relationship is. We used to do stuff like that all the time on the phone or face to face, or when we went up to my parents' house that one time we got into it.
Worse.
And the funniest thing is it's not for show, it's real, but the second that our fights are over, they're over.
And that's it.
They're over. It's a very, very weird, unique thing that we got going here, because when I was mad, I was very mad, and when you were mad, you were very mad.
I don't really that mad, though.
Oh, yes, you were.
You've seen me really mad. Was I really mad?
No, I've seen you real mad before.
Yeah.
And when you get really mad when we fight, when it's over, it's over.
It's over. It's done.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of contact from that one, people sending us emails and actually a couple of phone calls asking us, are we okay? Did we beat each other up? And no, it was over. It was over. It's over. Now, the good thing is, Little Boy's got to eat some crow today. But before we get into that...
I don't think I do, by the way.
All right, yeah, whatever. But before we get into that, did you watch Saturday Night Live this week?
I sure did.
Now, isn't the beginning the best thing ever when they were talking about Lynn? Now, I know you guys during your roundhouse were talking about
that was so funny.
You know why it was funny? Because They totally made a parody, or well, I guess kind of, how you cannot talk about the black players.
Right.
Oh.
Right. The second they said anything about the black players, they went, whoa, 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 whoa.
Calm down, calm down.
And by the end of the show, the guy had actually been fired.
Yeah, he was fired for it. Yet they kept talking about Lynn, this Jeremy Lin.
And it got more offensive and more offensive as it went on. Yes.
How does that work?
Yeah.
How does racism only count towards black people?
Yeah. I don't get that either, to be honest with you. I really don't get that.
Man, it was just funny. I laughed about, and I like Saturday Night Live. At the same time, I don't like Saturday Night Live. The reason why I like Saturday Night Live is also the reason why I don't like Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's just stupid. So you never know.
You know what I thought was really interesting is they had Maya Rudolph hosting, who does a wonderful Whitney Houston impression. And
Never
they didn't once. And I'm thinking, was it too soon, I guess? Or, I mean, nothing. Not a mention,
Now, let me tell you, I can guarantee, because Lauren Michaels is a very, very, very much outspoken liberal, if it was Bush who died or fell off a step or got messed up, he would have done it.
I don't know if that's quite the case.
Well, maybe not died.
I'm just wondering if it's, well, if he had fallen or something, of course, just like if Obama had fallen, But
no, they don't make fun of Obama
when
ever.
somebody... You didn't watch the Obama and the Cosby Show
Yeah,
thing?
he did very bad impression, like he does. Sometimes he could do a great impression.
Because he was doing Obama doing Bill Cosby.
I know.
Give him a break. You know, I think that they make fun of just about everybody. And but I thought it was amazing. I saw Maya Rudolph's coming. Maya Rudolph's coming down. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to see something on Whitney Houston, even if it's just a mention. And she does such a good Whitney Houston impression. So.
Nothing at all. But it was a good show. Just the beginning was interesting because it's exactly what's happening in the media today. And it cracks me up because, I mean, if you talk bad or even a tiny bit racial towards any black player, you're in trouble. But everybody else is fair game. And I just think that's kind of unfair.
And they were kind of poking fun at that.
I know.
The show was poking fun at that.
And I think that's unfair because...
Although today, I guess somebody at ESPN got fired for some racial headline that they had put in. No, ESPN.
It wasn't the Fox Sports guy?
It was ESPN. No, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Jason Whitlock. And
Whitlock.
That was a tweet. He didn't get fired.
Okay.
A producer from ESPN put up a headline on the website, and I don't even know what it was because I didn't see it. But he got fired, and another host got suspended for something that they said about Jeremy Lin. I don't know what it was. It had something that had racial.
If we could find it, maybe we could put it in the show.
Yeah.
So. For tech guys.
I don't know if we can because I did some looking today. I couldn't find it, but I'm not that bright. So.
Well, yeah. So, all right. So let's go back to last week's show. Last week's show, we fought pretty strong on total spending, but the numbers that we were actually talking about were numbers added.
And if you listen to the
debt.
show, which I actually listened to again today on my lunch break, when I brought it up as increasing the national debt.
Okay.
Whose policies increase the national debt? And we were talking that, and the more and more we fought, the more and more we got out there, and it ended up kind of morphing into spending, which wasn't my whole point. My point was who has done more to increase the national debt.
So who has?
Bush.
So do you have numbers for this?
Yes.
Okay, pull out your numbers. Now I pulled, just while you're getting your numbers, I pulled information from the Department of Treasury. I pulled the national debt in 2001.
Now we're not talking about who has the national, because the national debt has gone up more under Obama, but not because of, I'm talking about whose policies has made it go up.
Well, the question is, though.
And that's what my whole point was, and if you listen to the show, that's what I said.
So the question to you is, what year do you start the policies for Obama?
Anything that he signed.
Okay, and what year do you start the policies for Bush?
Anything that he signed.
Okay, so what year do you want to put it as then? Because, you want to say, okay, well, then it's a whole year later? Because we could do that.
No, you got to say because the debt is being increased from Bush's tax cuts still.
Well, now here let's talk about tax cuts.
Until those run out.
Let's talk about tax cuts. Do you believe tax cuts are spending money?
They are. The cuts increased the debt because they did not.
And they didn't cut the spending to match the cuts.
Right. So that was my whole argument.
So is the government? So I want to ask you these questions because I want to see where you step on it.
Okay.
Is the government a business?
No.
Because a business is out to, they sell a product and get a profit, correct?
No, the government's
not a business.
Not a business. Okay.
So if you're not a business and you're taking in less money, what do you have to do? I mean, if you were a nonprofit like the government's supposed to be, and you took in $100, and your whole business is to give back out that money you took in,
right?
Can you put out $130?
Well, they do.
But they shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
Right. So tax cuts, whether you like them or not, is just less money coming into government.
Right. So if you have $100 that needs to go out, and you're bringing in $90,
then you have to cut that $100 down to $90 to match it.
But why cut the 90 down to 70 without touching the 100? And that's what Bush did.
Well, but see, the thing is, this president as well is not cutting that 100. So what you have to do is
he's raising the other,
which is wrong.
Well, in your opinion.
No, in yours is separate than mine. Right. But what I'm saying is, I think there should be less government. I think the government should be a lot smaller than it is, and I think the government oversteps its bounds. Then you should be very, very upset with Bush then. Oh yeah, I think he grew the government, and I'm very upset about that. Now, one thing he did do is he spent and didn't tax. So I'm happy on the not taxing, but I'm not happy on the spending.
Yeah,
so what we should have done is he should have cut the taxes and not spent.
Right.
Simple as that.
You can't do both.
So let's go over year to year of his spending, because I have those numbers.
Okay, yeah. Which, by the way, was not any of my point. We morphed it into that, but spending wasn't my point because I personally don't have a.
Well, but you said the Republicans are always
the bottom line, but the bottom line is, how much are you increasing the deficit?
Okay, we could do that too.
And he's not increasing the deficit as much as Bush did.
Well, when do you start saying that? Because I can do what has been increased so far, or I can do what's been increased since 2010.
Whose policies are adding more to the deficit?
Okay.
And you can go by everything that Obama has signed into law versus what Bush signed into law.
Where did you get the statistics? Now, what I did was, to make it easier for me, I made sure I didn't go to any websites that were biased on Republican or biased on liberal, because that's just too easy. If you go to a site that's biased on one side or the other, they're going to just come up with their numbers. I went directly from the federal government's website.
Let me bring...
So that's where I want to know your numbers come from, because I want to do apples to apples. Basically, they're just going to tell what it is. All right.
Well, this is from the Congressional Budget Office,
which is not a government agency.
Federal agency within the legislative branch of the United States.
What is the address to the website?
To the website? Mm-hmm. www.cbo.gov.
Okay, then that is. Okay, then that must be where I got the same numbers then, because I told you where I got them from, but I actually got them from the Department of Treasury. So it was treasury.gov. So I'm just going by Treasury numbers. I don't know what you're going by there. Now, while Bush was in office, which was a total of 8 years, from 2001 to 2008, the raise in the national debt was $4.2 trillion. And the numbers that you gave us was over $6 trillion.
No, it was 5.1.
Oh, okay. So
if you listen to the show again, you'd know, because I listened to it today.
4.2, 5.1, so there's a little different number. Now, this is from the treasury.gov. And then, and as of right now, from 2008 to 2012. But I will cut off for you.
Here's the thing: is the 5.1 trillion, I think, is so far up till now because Bush's policies are still costing us money.
No, you can't continue to do that.
Sure
you can't continue to say. Well, then you have to say that Clinton's
So what Obama has to do? Yeah, I'm just talking about stuff that.
So then let's take the last 4 years. Let's say 4 years and 2 years. I mean, you have to have a number. See, because you can't turn around and say, because I could tell you right now, the national debt from 2000 to 2003 was a bigger increase than from 2003 to 2008. So I don't want to put it on Clinton. I'm putting 100% on Bush, and you got to put 100% on Obama, or we have to cut away 3 years from Bush.
What Obama needs to do, which it looks like he is doing, is he needs to end those tax cuts.
Okay.
He needs to end those tax cuts.
Wouldn't you just say cut the spending? I mean, if you
I don't think cutting the spending will help our economy.
But what will help the economy is taxing people?
Well, cutting the taxes certainly didn't help the economy. Bush cut all those taxes, and what happened? We went into a recession.
But we never tried cutting the spending. So basically, instead of cutting the spending, people are just automatically going to raising taxes. I mean, isn't it easier if
we're not even raising? Let's not even. You could call it raising taxes. I call it putting it back to where it was.
Is the taxes going to be higher or lower? You did this to me last time.
I know I did.
So
yeah, it is
raising
it.
Lower?
So it's raising it back to where it was.
Okay. So let's go back to national debt, because that's what you were so concerned on.
Yes.
National debt.
Right.
So figures as of 2008 till now, how much is the debt raised?
I don't know.
Okay, 5.3 trillion.
Okay.
Figures from 2010 to now. So I'm giving him 2 years. I'm saying, okay, so instead of Bush only getting 8 years, he's now getting 10 years of the ding. How much has it raised? 4.2 trillion. Okay. So 4.2 is exactly what the raise was in the whole time that Bush was in there, the 8 years. If you want to add 2 trillion to it to give him 10 years, even though he was only in office 8 years, we could put it up there. And so basically,
what policies has Obama passed, or what has Obama passed that has raised the debt so much?
He spent money. I'm going to go into that next. I'm going to show you how that is. It's not policies, it's spending. And I'm going to go into spending.
On what? Well, in order to spend the money, he has to have that approved.
Yes.
So what has he done that has...
American Reinvestment Act.
Which was how much?
$800 billion.
Okay.
He has put money into, what's the reinvestment deal? Well, I'm going to go over to spending right now. I'm going to go over piece by piece on the spending. So are you ready for that?
Sure.
Okay. So in spending, because that's where you were at, for the first, and we could break this down into 3 years, or we could break this down into giving Bush his whole 10 years, which is what you want to say, and then the last 2 years of Obama, or we could break it any way you want to break it down. In Bush's reign as president, the government increased spending by $500 billion.
How much did it?
Now, I'm not saying about taxes. I'm talking about
but what I'm
increase
saying,
of spending.
They've increased spending $500 billion.
Right.
And how much did they lower revenue?
Yeah, but that's not spending.
But that's part of it.
No, it's not even close to part of it.
But spending isn't an issue. I don't have an issue with spending.
But I
know
do.
you do.
But I want to go over to national. Your thing was, and this is how the argument started last week, that the Republicans say Obama spends too much. That was what you said,
right.
And I am just wanting to repeat what you said and fix what I see.
And what I'm trying to say is, to me that's a moot point. The whole bottom line is, where's the national debt?
Well, the national debt right now is huge, and it's growing.
But not because of Obama.
Well, so you don't give him any of it?
I'm not saying he has nothing to do with that. I'm saying, but the majority of the debt going up is because of the policies of George W. Bush.
See, that's why you want to put it, but you'll never say that Obama is responsible for this. So I even took away, and I gave Bush 10 years,
Obama's spending,
and he still did.
The money that Obama's spending, he's trying to spend to get the economy going.
Except that...
Which it finally is starting to work now.
Except that 178% more spending than Bush on social programs, 178 over total budget is where we're at, 178%.
And has he lowered the taxes?
The taxes are where they're at.
Okay,
the spending has increased 178%.
Okay, so maybe in order to get the economy going, the spending has to go up. In order for the spending to go up, then the taxes have to go up.
Or you cut the taxes down,
which we've already done, which did not work.
Or you just cut spending.
We know that cutting taxes didn't work because cutting taxes put us into a recession. But we never tried cutting expenses ever. What we did try to do is put a tremendous amount of money into the economy. In order to get, that's what, and it's working.
But wouldn't it have been better? Wouldn't it have been better to completely cut out the 178? This 178% on top of.
I don't think so.
So this is not the same as what it was.
Right. I don't think so.
But we don't know.
So. No, so neither one of us know. I'm just telling you. You're asking me what I think. Yeah. So then I'm telling you what I think, and you're saying, but you don't know.
Neither do I.
Then why are you asking me if you're going to point out that I don't know?
Because what I'm going to say is, what I'm asking you is, these are real numbers. So, but we never tried the other one. See, for years they've tried raising taxes. They've always tried raising taxes. That's a liberal thing to do, and there's a Republican thing to do. But you know what they never do? They never just cut spending. Why don't we just try cutting spending?
Well, maybe. Well, I think right now is the worst time to cut the spending. I think the spending needs to happen for the economy. I think cutting the spending will be bad.
So right now they're spending about $300,000.
But it actually depends on where you want to cut the spending from too.
I would cut it across the board.
Yeah.
You know, one thing is the Obama administration is cutting it on military. The military is only 17% of our economy. 17% of our total expenditure.
I don't think that is right.
Yeah,
of our budget?
Of our budget.
I saw some, let me see.
So if you have that.
The only thing, I have something on the military, but it's not that.
I'm going to
look that up. I'm going to look that up.
It's not enough. But the thing that's very high is what we put on social programs. That's extremely high. It's over 30%. So why don't cut? So
I'm going to have to. All I can do is go by what you're saying because I just those numbers don't seem
it doesn't
right.
matter anyway. Go ahead and check the numbers and we'll talk about it next week. Now, what I want to say is, for the first 3 years of Bush, we had 0.5 or 5 billion, which is 1/2 $1 trillion in increase in spending.
Okay.
For the first 3 years of Obama, now this is spending, this is not policy. Now, because you want to say policy, this is spending, this is actual government spending, is 0.9 or 9 trillion.
Okay.
Which is 170.
9 trillion or 9 billion?
9 billion, excuse 900 billion.
Okay,
which
let's
is,
get those right.
Is almost 1 trillion. So it's 0.9.
Most of that is that reinvestment act to get the economy going again.
Well, but
800 and something billion of that was that.
What I'm saying is, no. This is increased spending. This is not.
That didn't count as increased spending?
Well, because the American Reinvestment Act, Bush also had one involved, and it was where he got money from the government had $700 billion aside and gave it out to different automobiles and all that. That all got pulled into the American Reinvestment Act.
The automobile, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
that money did. That money actually went everywhere.
Well,
So-
but you're counting. Oh, you're saying Obama has increased spending by 900 billion.
in his first 3 years, and Bush did in his first 3 years.
How much of that was the Reinvestment Act?
We're going off 100% of what the government has grown.
And that doesn't count any of that?
No, it counts it. But I'm
Okay.
saying is it counts. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good thing that he's doing. So I'm not agreeing with you that that's a good thing. The American Reinvestment Act is too expensive. I mean, it's costing almost $300,000 per job.
See, I don't think that that's I don't think that's quite right either.
Well,
if you take if you take a calculator and divide it out, yeah, but that doesn't calculate it out. That's not what I mean though, because I think that it's saving jobs too, which you need to account for also. And what would have been a better way?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a politician.
I know,
what
but
I'm
do
saying
you have an idea? Or do you have
I do have an idea.
What would have been a better way?
You don't.
I remember our last show. What you had said was they should have taken that money and opened up a business and employed all these people.
They should have, because you know why? It would have been half the price.
Why didn't they just throw the money into the post office then and just hire a bunch of postal employees?
They could have done that.
You would have complained. Oh, come on!
But the thing is,
when I was re-listening to the show today, I heard you say that. I said, "That was bull. That is bull."
The
he would
problem
have
is,
freaked out if they did that. He said, "You would have been saying the government shouldn't be in business." So you said something there that you don't really believe.
obviously, the government cannot do that. But you're spending $300,000 per job, and that's $300,000 per job of every person who works in the United States. So that's not even people losing. That's $300,000 per every man and child actually. In the United States. That's a lot of money.
I don't think that that's exactly how it worked, but
it is a lot of money.
I think that it had to be done. I think it had to be done. I think it's working, and I think that in the next few years, in the next few years, the more jobs we gain, the less that dollar amount will be.
Do you know what a lot of people can't wrap their heads around $1 trillion? $1 trillion. You know, the government throws around $1 trillion like it's nothing. $1 trillion.
We certainly threw it around a couple weeks ago really easily.
It's a tremendous amount of money. So when you increase the national debt by almost $5.5 trillion, that's a lot. I mean, I don't care who you are, or what you say, or what you.
I don't think Obama's done that.
Well, I'm just going by numbers that they said, and this is
you're
what
saying. That's what's gone up, but I don't think that it's all him.
Well, I mean, but you know, you have to sooner or later. And I'm leaving this completely up there. I even gave Bush 10 years of it.
One thing he's going to do.
Have to take
one thing he's going to do is he's going to roll back the Bush tax cuts, and that's going to help out the national debt a lot.
But it's going to hurt the economy.
I don't think so.
Well, because
giving them also, I'll tell you what, giving all those tax cuts certainly didn't help the economy.
Well, what they should have done was tax cuts and spending cuts.
Well, they didn't.
But they're not. So instead of doing spending cuts, it's not a liberal thing to do.
The spending cuts, I don't think, are the wise thing to do. I think that they need to roll back the Bush tax cuts. I love we wanted to get into it last week, and we didn't. I love the Buffett tax rule. I think that's great. I think that's
a ridiculous rule.
Well, I think it's a good one.
It won't go through.
Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Anyways, we're going in a bunch of circles on this, so we might want to. You want to move on, or you want to keep going with it?
Well, no, I want to move on, but I wanted to send out the figures here, and I was hoping that at least you can give me a time of when you think this president can start at least saying that some of it is his, because you don't want to. You want to keep putting it on Bush. So basically, now we're giving Bush 15 years of office.
Well, it's not that. It's his policies, and one thing that Obama needs to do. One thing that Obama needs to do.
$5 trillion.
One thing that Obama needs to do, and he is slowly doing it, is he needs to start correcting these things. And one of them is rolling back the tax cuts. One of them is pulling out of the wars, which he's pulled out of.
We're going back into another one.
That's what you think. We'll see.
No, we are.
You know what's funny is like 6 months ago, maybe not 6 months ago, like 4 months ago, you texted me and said, we're going to war with Iran today.
Not today, I said soon.
Well, I guess it all depends on what your definition of soon is.
A year.
Is that what it was? You think it'd be within a year? Okay, well, we'll see. I hope not.
It'll be within a
I
year.
hope not, and I certainly think now. I think that there is a time and a place, and sometimes war is the only answer. But I hope that we make sure that we pursue all of
Now,
our
for you,
avenues
it's
first.
really easy to say that because you're a pacifist.
I hope-
But when you have people who are protectants, or the people who want to protect your family and their family and the next people's family, it's. I would rather have it there than here.
Well, I think that we
So-
can be. Of course, everybody would rather have it there than here. But
Right.
I think that we can make a wise choice and make sure that we make the right choice.
I think you would
And
have.
they did the whole rather be over there than here with the Iraq war, and I don't think that was the truth.
But it worked for us, didn't it? Because
No,
we
it
hadn't been
didn't.
attacked since, so that was
That,
good.
but you,
Okay, so
I
let's talk
don't
about-
give that credit for that. You
Oh,
do,
I do.
I don't. But you do, and I don't.
Yeah.
So what?
Well, because I don't have to defend Bush anymore.
No.
Because it's not necessary.
'Cause you can't.
Well, no, I can. The problem is, every time we throw numbers out there, you still don't want to say that
Because
Obama has anything to do with them.
because-
so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
because
It's not that
Bush-
you can protect the guy.
because-
it's just that you turn around and you will never, ever do it. So
Bush-
when Obama's out of office,
Then we can look back. Then we can
Then-
look back. Because I think it's still actually too early to decide whether or not Bush had a successful or unsuccessful pregnancy. Oh my God, presidency.
no, that's not true. You constantly
No,
say
of
he
course,
didn't.
yeah, but honestly, like, in history and stuff, I think you need to wait about 30 years before you can really, truly. All we're doing right now is throwing a conjecture. I'm saying I think he was bad. You're thinking he wasn't as bad. You're thinking he wasn't as bad. I think 30 years is a good, tool. I think that we're getting a little bit closer for Clinton, where we can really go back. We need to talk about Reagan more because people are starting to look back on him, and maybe he wasn't as great as everybody thought he was.
that is not
And
true.
we will
No.
talk. No, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk
Only
about that another
liberal
time.
websites say that.
We'll talk about that another time.
All right, so gas production. Speaking of Iran,
Yes.
gas in California is now at $4.
Yeah, what the hell? It's going like 12 cents in a
Yeah.
day.
Now, Iran has once again said they're going to close off that strait, and it's going to happen any day, and there's nothing the U.S. can do about it. What happens if gas hits the $6 mark, like they're saying, to the president next election time?
Well, that will certainly hurt him. I think that people are looking at this wrong. I know some people are saying we need to start domestically producing more oil, and that is such a short-term solution. We rely on oil so bad, we need to invest more money and time and energy into other forms of
course we do.
besides oil. And I don't think that we're doing that. I think that we keep coming up with all these short-term solutions, and you're going to keep coming up with these short-term solutions, and pretty soon they're going to be gone. And we talked about this with Cody when you were in Notre Dame, and it's gonna get to the point where oil isn't worth it anymore, where it's just, it'll always be there, but it just won't be worth it to get it anymore.
So what do you do? What do you do if you're the president right now and you're seeing this happen?
Yikes.
Because it's
Well,
political.
part of the reason why the prices are going up is because demand's going up because the economy is starting to recover.
Okay.
That's part of the reason why it's going
Even
up.
though demand in the U.S. is less.
Demand in the U.S. is more now than it was when he took office.
Demand in the U.S. for oil is down. Demand. That was something that Trump talked about last week.
Yeah, but I was reading today, I wish I had the numbers, that the demand from when he took office to now has gone up.
Really?
Yes.
Because the military was using a tremendous percentage, and now they're not. So
Yeah.
how could it be going up?
Well, that's our, I wish I had, I didn't think that we were going to really be
Yeah,
talking
because
about
Trump talked
demand.
about it yesterday. That demand in this country is
Right.
down. Now demand in other countries are up.
I'm not sure I go with anything that Trump
Well, I'm
says.
just saying, demand in other countries is up. Okay, that's one reason that it's going up. What other reasons would you say it's going up?
Well, because we have all this turmoil over in Iran.
So okay,
That's certainly part of it.
So if you're the president and you're looking to get reelected, and gas hits $6 a gallon like they're projecting it will this summer,
Wow.
and Iran is still touting their flag and
So do we
saying,
go to war for that?
I don't know, but the thing
not quite
is,
sure that's
you would
an
say
answer.
Bush would have in a heartbeat. But the difference is, I would love to see if Obama will or not.
I sure hope he doesn't. I don't think that's the
it's
answer.
politics, as usual. And to be honest with you, if we see something in the future, I would not be against him doing that.
I know you wouldn't.
Because what happens is, if he goes against Iran, he's a shoo-in to win. Because every wartime president wins. And at the same time,
I would like to think that's not going to happen. And I'll tell you what, if the roles were reversed and Bush was president right now and he went to war, I'd be here sitting here fighting with you, telling you that the reason why he went to war is because he wanted to guarantee that he's going to get reelected.
I know.
That's what I would be saying. I'm pretty sure that, and maybe that's why he would too. You never know.
I'm sure.
I'm just hoping that
it's politics as usual.
I would hate for us to go to war and risk life so somebody could get reelected. I would sure hope that would not.
I would hope that doesn't happen. I have a feeling it's going to, with the numbers that gas has gone up. I mean, gas in California has gone up 12 cents in 7 days.
I know.
And there's no relief in sight. So what's going to happen is, obviously, things are gonna get tight. And when things get tight, what happens? Now, I do have to hand it to President actually hit 50% approval rating, which is very high for him.
Yeah.
So he's still at 99.97 with the black vote.
That was on Saturday Night Live too, wasn't it?
So, but
did you see that BET special they did?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was.
That was very, very funny.
They're vote no matter what.
What would he have to do to make you not vote for him? It was very funny. Very funny.
Anyway, I'm interested to see this. I think on our next week's show, we should see where gas is and where approval ratings are and see if that changes.
That's interesting.
As far as budget stuff goes, both of us have conflicting numbers. I don't know what to say. I went off the government site. You went off by the government site. I don't know how the numbers are different.
It's just the way we're looking at it. It's just the way we're looking at it.
I would like to get a date from you, though, an actual date where you would say, from here on,
I can't give you a date. What I can tell you is every policy that is costing us money that Bush signed is his responsibility, and every policy that's costing us money that Obama signed is his responsibility.
All right. So do you have those numbers?
I don't have those exact. Wait, I might.
That would be interesting.
Let me go through my computer here real quick.
All right. So we didn't fight this show. Because I had numbers, and I always go by numbers.
And I was right.
You weren't right. You said he did less spending. It wasn't true.
Well, no.
How did the fight start? It started with you said Republicans say
they're
that he spends too much. That was the start.
That's how it started. But I was telling you that let's look at who's raised the debt, the national debt.
Does he spend more? Yes or no?
Has he spent more money?
Yes or no? That's all. That's the answer.
I'll say more money has been spent.
It's just yes or no. That's the thing. You don't want to answer it because you know the answer. I wouldn't want to answer it either.
That's not my problem. I don't have an issue with that.
Has the debt gone up with him? Yes or no?
The debt has gone up
then there
since
you go.
him, but not because of him.
You don't know
but not
that.
because of him.
You don't know that.
Sure I do.
No, you don't
sure
know
I
that.
do.
That's conjecture.
Sure I do.
You don't know. You don't know.
Stole my word. I used that earlier. You can't
I know you did. So you don't know. So the truth was last week you had this big huge fight with me, but when the real answers were...
Nope. What I was fighting about, I was right about.
What were you fighting about? You were fighting about spending. You said he doesn't spend
No, I
as much.
wasn't. It got turned into spending.
Okay, then say the debt. But he did raise the debt.
He did not not as much as Bush's policies. Obama's policies has not raised as much as Bush's policies have.
It's not. It's the buck stops in the White House.
Well,
That's it.
does. It does. You're right about
the buck
that.
Stops in the White House.
And when we reached the debt limit, we had an argument about this, or not even an argument. And we had talked about it.
I said, don't raise it, and they raised the damn ceiling.
But you said, whose fault is it? And I said, you can go back all the way to God knows how far back. But the bottom line is, the person who's going to get the most blame is the one who's just sitting right there. That's where the buck stops.
And that's where
it
does.
Buck stops. You're right about that.
That's where it stopped with Bush, and that's where it stops with Obama.
Well,
I'm sorry he spends more, and I'm sorry the debt has gone up more.
I do believe that had Bush somehow gotten another term, we would have been having a debt ceiling issue as well.
I'm sure we would have. And I think that's a mistake. But still, what I'm saying is,
I think we need
numbers don't lie, and that's where we're at. And I wish that I had these numbers last week. You totally blindsided me last week with those.
We fixed the. I still don't think that you did anything to change. You certainly didn't do anything to change my mind.
And since I'm going to be involved in the editing, everybody will see the numbers.
You made a different argument, is what you did.
Well, I just made an argument with numbers, and that's.
I made an argument with numbers too. My numbers were all correct. They were just a different argument. That's all.
Your numbers were not correct.
Sure they were.
You didn't give numbers tonight.
Let me go through my
question
computer
was
again.
Spending, yes or no? Yes.
That wasn't what I had said,
Question
though.
was national debt, yes or no? Yes.
From 2000 to 2009, Bush's policies, including 2 wars,
How do you know
higher
2000
Pentagon,
now?
2001 to 2009.
When was he elected?
2001
And when was he in office?
through 2009.
When was he in office? So you why do people do that? Oh, okay,
Contributed
anyway.
5.1 trillion to the national debt.
Okay.
From 29 to 2017, Obama's policies. I'm not saying this is how much he
No.
has raised under him. I'm saying his
But
policies
see, now read it again.
have
read it again.
added 983
You didn't say
billion.
did
I
you
said
say
that
Bush's
last week.
policies at
Yes,
the
I
beginning?
did.
So you're saying from 2001 to 2009, Bush's policies raised the national debt.
has contributed the policies that he passed between 2001 and 2009 has raised the national debt 5.1 trillion.
Okay.
The policies that Obama has passed has raised it or will add 983 billion. It's the same thing if you watch the show.
But
that's
the
the same thing I said
policy,
last
now
week.
that can't be correct
That's the same
because
thing
two
I-
things have happened. One, we know 800,000 in American reinvestment, or 800 billion in American Reinvestment Act
Okay.
already happened. That was his
All right, and what other
policy.
policies has he done that's raised that?
What other policies?
Yes.
He's got the healthcare, which already has started for younger people. That already is costing money.
Right.
He has the
That's
the
what
the-
his policies have done so far are in there.
No, they're not in
They
there.
are.
Your numbers don't match.
Well,
How could they
don't-
possibly be?
because
You know
your-
the truth number. You know
your
what
numbers,
the real numbers
your
are.
numbers are this is what the debt was at this date, and this is where it was at that date. What I'm saying is there's more to it than that.
Yeah, but your numbers
There's
that you're
more-
coming up with don't even make sense to what you're saying.
Yes, they do.
American Reinvestment alone is exactly that number.
No, it's not.
Well, how much off is it?
Was it 840 billion? We talked about it last week.
American Reinvestment Act was $900 billion.
No. It was
800
something.
something, yeah.
8 something. Then why'd you just say 900?
800 something. Then what is there? What is the
983, I think, was the number. Yeah, 983 is the number that I just gave you.
So even though the government is spending more
But
and not taking in anymore, because you said that.
Right, but
The
they're
numbers
spending
aren't going
money.
up. See, don't you understand where I'm coming from here?
There's-
You said a minute ago, you fought with me that they're not spending, they're spending more,
It got
but they're not
turned
taking
into
in as
spending.
much.
It got. But our argument last week
No,
was
no,
whose
what
policies,
I'm saying now is, how could your numbers be correct just from what you're saying? From just what
You
you're
tell
saying.
me what you give me numbers that are higher than that.
I gave you the numbers.
You didn't give me numbers.
Okay, is the government, is the tax cuts, are they gone?
No.
So they're still in place.
Yes.
Yet, the government is spending 178% more than they were
You
when he
give me
started.
the policies that Obama
All I'm
has passed.
asking you is-
you give me
all I'm
if you
asking
tell me
you
those numbers
is-
don't add up, I want you to give me the
No,
numbers that
I want
add
you to
past
show
that.
me how that could possibly be. You said that the tax breaks are still in effect and we're
Yes.
not taxing anymore. But the government is spending 178% more than they were.
You said that.
Well,
I didn't
I'm going
say
by
that.
government spending records. They're right in front of you. Government spending records.
You-
So just by going through government spending records and saying what they're doing, how could that possibly be? That's the question. I mean, I could
Well,
show
the
you
mo-
how the spending is broken down, but that doesn't mean it. What I'm trying to ask you is the numbers you came up with.
Right.
How can
I
they
want you to
possibly be?
I want you to tell me what other legislation has Obama passed that costs money besides that American Reinvestment Act?
Obama has passed not only that American Reinvestment Act.
Okay.
He's passed the social act of giving people extensions on their unemployment benefits, extensions on disability benefits.
How much does that cost?
Well, I'm going by the numbers that
How
they're
much does
spending.
That, how
I don't
much
know.
does that cost? Okay.
Well, I mean, we know it's up. We know that our spending is up
Right,
178%. So of that 178%, all of these things fit into there. They fit
Well,
into
I
their
need to
social
see.
programs.
Maybe we'll do a little
expenses.
bit more research. We'll come back next week and we could talk about this more.
Sure.
We'll turn this into 45 minutes.
Well,
on the same
no, but I
thing
mean,
from last week.
I just want to.
I'll come up with some more. I'll break that number down and show you exactly where it is. I don't have all of
I
it in
just
front of me right
wanted
now.
to show you that if you can show me,
We're
because you're giving me an argument.
Well, you know,
saying
it's
that,
funny. You always say if you can show me, and then I show you, and you get all mad.
I showed you, and you don't
Well,
believe.
let's talk about a different subject here. Like last week, you had said that Obama. You said Mitt Romney is polling higher than Obama now, and I
I
said
showed
no.
you two
and I
websites
said
where
you
he
did,
was.
and you didn't.
I did.
You did not.
I did.
You did not.
I did.
I said no. I watched today, and I saw Obama's actually 6 points ahead.
Oh, I never said 6 points.
I said 6 points.
Oh, all right.
I probably just smashed my microphone.
You
That
did.
was pretty really loud. I said 6 points. I went in, I found it on multiple websites, and I sent you one of them and told you, you show me where Obama
And
is
I sent
leading.
you one back.
You sent me one that showed a bunch of crap. None of them, as a matter of fact, one of the links you sent me showed Obama was leading by 6. The only thing that you showed me was that poll. Which one was it?
Gallup poll.
The Gallup poll that showed they had just tied in the swing states only, and that was from a week prior.
You know, it's funny. I'm on the Gallup poll right now again. So I just pulled it up again.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to hand it to you so you can see it.
I'm not talking about what the Gallup poll says now. I'm talking about what we were arguing about before.
This is on.
And you got so mad that I showed you.
And I showed you, but it doesn't matter.
You didn't show me. You showed me.
I will put on this video the polls I showed because I'm going to edit this. He's not.
Okay.
And I'm also going to put on this video the Gallup poll.
You show me the poll that you showed me last week that showed that Romney was leading.
The poll will say whatever I want it to say.
Well, then what's the point? What?
No. But look.
Yeah.
What does the Gallup
then I don't
poll
want to
say
see
here?
it.
What does the Gallup poll say there?
Which is what we're not what we're
I know,
arguing
but
about.
we just got finished saying
U.S.
50.
unemployment increases in mid-February.
No,
here it
I'm
is.
not talking about
Okay. Obama approval 46. Obama disapproval 48.
That's changed again.
Okay.
So it changes on a minute basis.
But
so the thing
no.
is, what I'm saying
No. What we said was when we were recording, you said I saw the poll today
Yes.
that showed that Romney
I
was
saw
leading.
this poll earlier today. It said 50.
But that's
and now
not what
it's
we're
down
talking
to 46.
about.
It changes constantly.
But listen to me. Listen to me.
40. Now it's at 44.
Listen
It was
to
46
me.
2 seconds ago.
You said I saw a poll today that showed that Romney is beating Obama, and I said no. Actually, I saw it earlier. Obama's beating him
what
by
I'm
6
telling
points.
you is I saw it, and we just saw this said 46. What does it say now?
The one that you sent me, you emailed me, showed that they were tied. And I said, show me. But you also said you saw the Fox News poll. The Fox News also showed Obama leading by 6.
No, not by 6.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't by
that
6.
day it did.
This is what I'm trying to explain to you.
See, you get mad when you get...
I'm not wrong. You just saw this with your own eyes, but yet you won't tell the people. It constantly keeps moving. The polls move constantly.
This is the Gallup poll about approval rating.
I know, but a minute ago we said 50.
If they were running...
Now it's down to 44.
That's not what we were talking about.
No, what I'm saying is they change constantly. Constantly.
Not,
Since we've been sitting here, it's changed 2 points. Did it? Yes or no?
That particular poll right there
Did it? Yes
changed.
or no? It did.
But that's not what you were talking about last week.
I was just saying I saw that, and I did.
All
but
right.
anyway...
Do we want to talk about this still?
No, it's too late now.
Isn't? That's too bad.
I mean, I wanted to talk about
it.
that too.
Let's talk about it real quick.
All right, real quick. Go ahead. Speak about it.
Well, this is something that you sent to me. They're trying to limit...
It's actually on our website.
Yeah. Limits sought on vehicle electronics. I guess the Obama administration is trying to put limits on technologies. Basically, I think that we had talked about this a little bit, maybe possibly making it so when the vehicle's moving, your cell phone doesn't work, that type of thing.
Yeah, but if you read this whole article,
I did.
They want to do everything. They want to do radios and the whole thing, which I think
I didn't see. You know, I read the whole article. I didn't see where it said radio.
Well, it said consumer electronics.
Yeah, I don't think they mean radios.
Well, who knows what they mean? They're leaving it wide open. If they'd have said excluding radios, that would be a different story. But they're talking about everything, though. They're talking about the whole driver interface.
Distracted driving deaths totaled 3,092 in 2010. Now,
wow. I mean, that's a lot of deaths, but
right.
Geez, come on.
Distracted driving is, first of all, very broad because it could be reaching for a French fry. It could be reaching to put the pacifier back in your baby's mouth.
Yep.
It could be talking to somebody next to you. So there,
could
you know,
be a child in the background screaming and throwing its poo at you.
It could. You know, I mean, could be putting on makeup. It could be shaving.
Yeah.
You
so
know.
why leave it so vague?
Well, not only that, but why pick on cell phones? Although I do think that cell phones.
Guarantee. My wife's on her cell phone all the time. She's an EMT. She drives me crazy. You know, I'm in the car with her. I freak out. My kid is not allowed to have the cell phone into her car with her. Her cell phone has to be in her purse, in the back seat where she can't reach it.
That's a fat man rule. That's not a law, though, right?
No, that's a rule because I don't want her to get in her
But that's a rule by you. That's not a law, right?
No, of course not.
Now, is that where it's going to get? Is it going to get to that, you think?
Leaving this as stupidly broad as it is, it could be anything. You know, it could be that you're not allowed to talk to somebody next to you. I mean, that's how stupid broad it was. What they really should do is, if they're going to talk about something like this, and they let the media run with it, because the media takes one little tiny thing and gone, is they should have said, this is only cell phones, but it really isn't. They want to deal with GPS. They want to deal with. They said driver interface.
It's a
so
fine.
What's a driver interface?
Yeah, it's a fine line because the more technology we get, the more stuff that we can do when we drive, and but it's dangerous, man. It is dangerous. You see people on their
phone does everything.
Yes.
As you notice, even from Notre Dame, we were broadcasting through this phone.
Yes.
This phone has all our website information in it. This phone has my credit cards in it now. This phone has through Google Wallet, which I'm not very happy with you, Google, just in case you didn't know. Unbelievable. My tablet, I couldn't live without it almost.
Yeah.
The problem is, when you're in your car, it's very distracting.
It's very tough to not use it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Because I tried the Bluetooth. I can't stand it.
So what? And the thing is, how can they, how can they even prove that you were using it?
Oh, you're getting a wreck, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I can get you to say stuff. It's very hard when you're being questioned and not understand because the way they taught us in the academy is you don't ask just straight out questions.
Well, yeah.
You ask questions to get them to answer you with what you want. And I can get anybody to talk about it. I'll say, I say, and if there was an accident, well, one was this guy had ran into a trolley downtown and he was on his cell phone. We got him on camera with his cell phone. But I straight out asked him, I said to him, hey, man, I said, at least your phone didn't get damaged, right? He goes, heck yeah, it got damaged, man. It flew through the... So obviously... They're gonna, but go ahead.
I mean, are they gonna have to pass a law that says it has to be in an enclosed, it has to be in your pocket, or it has to be in a purse? Or
no, come on.
Yeah. So what do you do?
They're gonna try. They're gonna try.
What do you do though? I mean, this is.
In California, you can't touch your phone. You can't touch it.
Really?
It is hands free. Hands free means your hands are free from the device.
Really?
Yeah. That letter of the law is you cannot touch your phone.
But it's so tough to prove that
answer.
Somebody was touching.
Of course you can't.
Yeah.
And
that's one of those things
it's a misdemeanor, so guess what? If it didn't happen in their presence...
Yeah, it's one of those... It's going to be one of those losing battles. Yeah. It's going to be one of those losing battles, maybe like the war on drugs.
I think the war on drugs is actually... I mean, it's a necessary thing. I mean, obviously, but what would you do? Just legalize it all?
I know. What do you do? Hey, that's for another show. I wouldn't mind getting back into that.
We're late. We're 45 minutes in, and this show wasn't that good. So anyway, the facts and figures are on our website. Our website has grown quite a bit too. We're now doing syndicate feeds from our partners out there, which are other news agencies. So you can come to our website, get information from all over the globe. And then, of course, there's links to all those websites as well on every article. So you can see where we're getting the stuff from. Go visit them because they have it. But if you just want to go to one place in a news aggregate, that's us. And we also have our own articles in there too. We wanted to say thank you to a new sponsor that we have this week. We have Fathead. Yeah. Fathead. Now, he's not really on the website yet, but it will be. The reason why we got that is because of the sports show. But I want to put them on our website as well because I really like their stuff. Yeah. As well as NBC Store. Thank you very much, NBC. And that will be on our website as well because we're both huge Office fans. I sent a letter to their marketing department and asked them if we can sell some of the bobblehead dolls. And they said, sure, we'll give you a link and you can sell the bobblehead dolls. So
awesome.
So take a look at our website. Sorry the show went long again today and it's a little boring, but we are going to be live from now on. We do have live streaming here. Matter of fact, today we are broadcasting live, but I didn't send it to the website. So you could always check that out at pmlbmedia.com/live. Or on our website, there'll be a link that's called Live.
Yep.
And the only problem is we don't broadcast on a regular schedule because we want to have more call-ins again.
Yeah.
So
we haven't decided yet if we're going to go weekly or every other week still. We're still working on that.
We're working on that. I do think this show should go, like I said, last week was a pretty high-rated show, so I think we should go long. But, gosh, it's been a long show. It's 50 minutes. So I am your host, Fat Man. You can always contact me at fatman@fatmanlittleboy.com or on Twitter at FatmanShow.
I'm at Littleboy, at FatmanLittleboyShow, or at LBHost. And you can call us at 858-522-9164. If you're going to call and you have a problem with anything that I said,
oh yeah,
Fat Man is in the studio 99% of the time, and I'm in the studio 1% of the time. So if you want to reach me and he answers, tell him to hang up, call back, and leave a message, directly from me. If you have a problem for me and you want to get really mad at me, why get mad at him? Or why tell him about it? I want to hear about it.
Yeah, last week we had a few
Littleboy at fatmanlittleboy.com, very easy to find. Send it to me. It'll come to my computer, it'll come to my phone. I will love to hear it. I would love to hear it.
All right. Well, that's it for our show today. Sorry again that it went so long. I think I'll cut this up in a couple of segments.
Okay.
All right. And we'll see you real soon.
Take care.